Welcome back to Startup Street. Early-stage venture investment firm Inflexor has announced the first close of its targeted 350 crore rupee opportunities fund. The fund has achieved around 80% of the target corpus, and the final close of the fund is expected by the end of the month. Inflexor is a sector-agnostic venture capital firm that invests in technology-based early-stage companies and currently manages 1,000 crores of assets under management. To talk to us about the opportunities fund and more, joining me now is Pradeep Mazumdar, partner at Inflexor. Also joining us is my colleague Ritu. Pradeep, welcome to Startup Street. You say this transaction has generated returns and liquidity for all your existing Fund 1 investors through a full portfolio sale of assets. If you could elaborate on the contours of the deal, what kind of returns have you been able to give to your investors?
Thank you, Ritu and team, for hosting me. Right, appreciate it. So, Inflexor Opportunities Fund, we are raising 350 crores, of which we have approximately done the first close of around 80%. The fund has been well received by institutional and family office and ultra HNI investors from the Indian market, and these are all new set of investors who have backed us. This particular opportunity fund will be using some part of the capital to acquire our Fund 1 portfolio of assets, and the balance capital will be used for follow-on investments into select companies from that portfolio of assets as and when those companies raise incremental capital. As you are aware, typically private equity VC fund investors typically target benchmark returns in excess of 25%. Our existing Fund 1 investors who took an exit have been able to achieve returns well in excess of the benchmark returns. And in fact, it is in the top decile performance, based on Preqin benchmark studies or, Cambridge Associates benchmark studies that have been done in the past, right? That's what I can talk about from a returns perspective that our Fund 1 investors have generated.
Well, Pradeep, hi, this is Ritu quickly stepping in to just take forward what you said. How much of this target corpus from the Opportunities Fund will you allocate in the next, say, 3 to 5 years to maintain or increase stake in your portfolio companies?
So almost 40% of this capital from the Opportunities Fund will be allocated for follow-on investments in companies from the existing portfolio as and when they raise more follow-on capital.
Okay. Pradeep, you've achieved the first close within 6 months of the launch of the Opportunities Fund with a sizable investment from HDFC AMC. Like I said earlier, you're a sector-agnostic fund. Tell us, how many startups are you looking to invest in the sectors, and what will be the ticket size?
So from this Opportunities Fund, as I mentioned, we have been looking to do follow-on investment in existing portfolio where we would like to hold on to our ownership and in some cases even increase our ownership. Check sizes based on transaction contours will vary anywhere between $2 to $4 million when we do such follow-on investments.
All right, Pradeep, you're currently deploying from your second fund, which you raised in 2021. Looking back as to, what would you say have been some of your top bets, biggest success stories, and, what are your expectations when the exits do start to happen? You've already had one.
Sure. So our second fund was, as you rightly mentioned, was raised in 2020. We were backed by institutional investors and family office at that point of time as well. We are currently 70% invested out of that fund, and some of our top bets from our second fund is Atomberg Technologies, Kale Logistics, Bioprime, right, Play Shifu, Bellatrix Aerospace, Predflow. These are some of our top bets from our second fund. From the exit perspective that we have managed for one of our second fund portfolio companies, a company called Steradian Semiconductors, which was recently acquired by a Tokyo-listed company, right, from the semiconductor space.
And how big, Pradeep, are you on artificial intelligence, and what kind of AI companies do you see coming out of India?
So we are pretty bullish on the AI space. We have been looking at this space right from our Fund 1 days itself. We think foundational AI companies will be built in the overseas markets, predominantly in the US market. But India has a head start in terms of, building companies using applied AI, right? Or verticalizing the entire AI piece. And that's where we are focused on. And we have a couple of bets in that segment as well from our fund too.
All right, Pradeep, thanks very much for your time here today on CNBC TV 18. It was a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you.